Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I have with me Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar. We talk about how Pakistan as a country looks at itself. What is happening now? A lot of churn in the last few days, and uh, people are curious as to what really is going to take place. Is there going to be martial law? Are there going to be elections? The prime minister is now out in London consulting with his elder brother. What are the machinations going on? To understand all these things and also to see how Pakistan looks at itself, let's welcome our guest, Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar. General Ravi Shankar, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel, sir.
Namaskar, and thanks a lot for inviting me over to the show once again, Mr. Sri Iyer. Uh, Interesting times. Why they're interesting times is Pakistan is in one kind of chaos, China is in another kind of chaos. All right. So, uh, and we as a country have to handle both. I think it's a good topic for us to talk on. Let's start.
Yes, sir. And General Ravi Shankar, I think you have already worked on a presentation. This is the amazing thing about the good general. I mean, we talked about the topic, I think a couple of days ago. He said, give me a couple of days. I need to gather my thoughts. And he has a perfect PowerPoint presentation to share with you. We're going to also give you a PDF link in the description section in case you want to spend some time understanding it in more depth. Sir, take it away, sir. You can
Thanks a lot.
start the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks a lot. Could the presentation come on?
Uh, Not yet. Hang on, sir. Now,
Yeah. This presentation, the font has for some reason come. It's a technical glitch, but I'll read through it. I had written a few days back article on the drivers of chaos in Pakistan. Pakistan has a history of assassinations, hangings, bombings, mid-air explosions, exiles, and countless coups. Benazir Bhutto, both the Bhuttos, and Ziaul Haq. All this is one of the main drivers of chaos in Pakistan. Now the new driver is Imran Khan. He's a Muslim with a mission. He goes jihad against evil. This is what he has said. I'm not saying anything myself. He talks of Riyasat-e Madina, and anyone opposed to him is evil. It's his way or the highway. Well, the third driver is Pakistan Army, the eternal Pakistan Army, the army with a country. It's greedy generals, influence, wealth, power. All these drive Pakistan. Then, of course, the elites, the Bhuttos, the Zardaris, the Sharifs, the Junejos, and all feudal landlords. They contrive to stay in power. This includes the judiciary, the police, the election commission. These are all, they want to hang on to power. And to hang on to power, they will do a deal with the devil. And then, of course, the fifth driver in Pakistan is the religious fundamentalism and the Taliban and the TLP, which is there. Now, these are the drivers of chaos, and this I had written in an article uh, 3-4 days back. Now, what are the options going ahead for Pakistan? Again, this is something which I've written in that article. Is it martial law under a new chief of army staff? Will it be Bajwa in a new avatar? Because there is talk that he could get an extension. Will it end in assassination of Imran Khan? Will it be a brokered peace and another hybrid government coming out? Will they continue with the present government backed by the army and a new chief of army staff? You know, will it be elections followed by Imran Khan as PM with his selected chief of army staff? Now, all options will lead Pakistan nowhere. This is the conclusion. Since all of them do not address the first and permanent driver in Pakistan, chaos, assassinations, which I had put to recount. The first
yeah,
driver, its
right.
history, assassinations, hangings, bombings, etc., etc., etc. While we can talk what we want, I can have a view on Pakistan. Everyone has a view on every Indian has a view on Pakistan, right? And every Pakistani has a view on India. But what do Pakistanis think for themselves? This is an article from Dawn Extract. And it's very interesting to see what they think of themselves. They say Pakistan shouldn't be called the Islamic Republic, but the 1% Republic. Opportunities, power, and wealth here are limited to the top 1% of the people. The rest are not provided opportunities to succeed. Pakistan economy thus relies on whatever the small elite can achieve. It remains underdeveloped as it ignores the talent of most in the country. A successful economy keeps giving rise to new entrepreneurs representing new emerging industries and technologies. Becoming its richest people, but not here in Pakistan, where wealth, power, and opportunities are strictly limited to an unchanging elite. If in case you wonder who's written it, it is the previous finance minister under the present government. This is
Oh,
what they
really?
do.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. This is not by some airy gary joker.
Hmm.
Okay. We have one other guy who's written the myopia of our political leaders reveals that they are not worried about the rehabilitation of flood affected, nor soaring inflation, nor the population explosion, nor the need for a national curriculum. The concern is who will be the next chief of our staff and if he is the guarantor of their continuity. This is what they feel. I mean, I said the last one was by Miftah Ismail. This thing, these people are all the regular opinion op-ed writers in Dawn. And I'm not talking of any airy-gairy Pakistani news. I am talking of published news in the Dawn, which I've written, I've taken out in the op-eds. And everyone doesn't write an op-ed in the Dawn, or for that matter, the Hindu in India or Indian Express. Only people of repute and some intellect will write. Okay, right. This is a very interesting thing. There are two articles in the Dawn which I would recommend everyone to read. It's in a thing column called the Prism. The first thing he says the revolution will not be digitized. He says in this he says nothing will change. What are the contents of this? I mean, this is very interesting. I mean, the parallels they've drawn for themselves is worth understanding. They said 2007, uh, Musharraf was the unchallenged ruler of Pakistan, but there were protests due to the deposal of the Chief Justice. Right? Eventually, Musharraf was forced to relinquish the post and then the presidency also, but that was later. In December of that year, Benazir Bhutto was assassinated. At that time, everyone, when Musharraf was thrown out, people thought that a transformative historical moment in the battle between democratic forces and the military establishment had come about. But within a couple of years, the army rehabilitated its larger than life image. They used the war on terror and they became the savior of the nation. So they're back. Now, the media faithfully reminded us of the military incorruptibility, while politicians once again became the self serving bad guys. So, it's a familiar pattern. The media also assists the army and the system to propagate itself. Right? Now, can you imagine the post Musharraf PPP government was even infamously accused of compromising with Washington to undermine the greater national interest. The same story which today Imran Khan talks of imported government. And who put this thing, moniker of conspiracy with Washington at that point of time? The army. And who propagated it? The media. The same media. I mean, this is actually, I mean, if you look at it, what's going on is really counterintuitive. I mean, is anything different? It's oxymoronic. So that's the question. This is the question which this article asks. Look, I'm not saying anything on my own. This is what the view within. So will it be different this time? Will the slogans raised by the diehard PTI supporters against the military top brass translate into a substantial shift in the civil military relations? The short answer is no. The PTI is popular, but it does not even approximate the progressive political alternative that is needed to undo the military hegemony. Whether the social base that the PTI has mobilized can metamorphose into a genuinely pro-people political force is, however, a question that all democratic and progressive forces should certainly ponder. It cannot, because the very reason why Pakistan is at this stage or at this turn of events is because of Imran Khan. Just because he's come to the streets and he's become a mass leader, will it change? 2 years down the line, if tomorrow Imran Khan comes into power, 2 years down the line, he will be vilified and the army will be back. That's the sum total of this argument in this huge in the this article in Prism. I would recommend everyone to read it. Okay, okay. This is what he or they all argue further. The military's temporary fall from grace results only in a strategic retreat, then a comprehensive overhaul of military hegemony. In the absence of an ideological political formation that can actually dismantle the foundations of the military, economic, political, and ideological power. So the military has got economic, political, and ideological power. Very, very deep rooted. They have a business of $20 billion. It's not a joke. Okay, it is the biggest business in Pakistan is owned by the military. You think it's going to come off just like that? Okay. Okay, this is the next. This is largely because the class interests of the mainstream parties do not permit them to call out many aspects of the military hegemony. They're hand in glove. Is there any disagreement between mainstream politicians and the military in the prevailing model of real estate development in Pakistan, the fallouts of which are borne by dispossessed villagers and squatters? So there's a huge property scam. One could conceivably argue that the military's other corporate concerns, like the increasingly monopolistic NLC is the National Logistics Corporation. Okay, it's completely owned by the army, and it is the biggest transport corporation in the Pakistan. The entire private transportation, trucking, everything is controlled by the army. I mean, can you imagine this? Did you know this?
No, I did
And
not know that.
yeah, look, you please go and see. I'm not saying anything. National Logistics Corporation it's a proper organization in Pakistan. Okay, which cater it is at the outset. It is for it has to come in play during the mobilization of Pakistan army during war and all that. But actually, they do complete transportation in Pakistan. They do crowd out the private sector, but beyond the occasional conflict of interest, right? The neoliberal euphemism of public-private partnership. That's the fig leaf covering on this whole thing. Is deployed to justify all forms of capital accumulation in which domestic profiteers from across the civil military divide come together with Chinese, Arab, and Western patrons to exploit natural resources and the wretched of the earth. One thing I admire, I mean, for whatever, there is one section of Pakistani press which is absolutely free. They talk what they
Hmm.
want, and this is the truth. Unlike China, you have to infer by what they don't talk. Here, everything is open. Okay, this is the next one. This is the heading of that thing. Will the army really quit meddling in politics for good? Right. This is a country. This is the part of the article. This is a country where former army chiefs live abroad with unaccountable wealth. Where Salim Bajwa explains an empire through screenshots of a Word document. He's the chap who owns Papa John's. Half of Papa John's in US, those pizza chain, is owned by him. And the Prime Minister Imran Khan says he's satisfied. So this man is he says, I am incorruptible, I am personally okay, and all that. And here is a guy who's looted a whole lot of money, and he gives a thing on a Word document, one sheet, one screenshot. He explains, and he's given a clean sheet. Earlier, when US found Osama bin Laden nested in Abbottabad, the mile away from the Kabul military academy. Then the ISI chief Shuja Pasha addressed a joint session of the parliament to explain the intelligence failure and security labs. Can you imagine this? That someone from the CIA goes and explains to the Senate, this is what it is. And that to a joint session. He told the lawmakers he was ready to resign. And I remember this. He said, हम तो इस्तीफा दे देंगे. The COS then, Kani, he was willing to be held responsible even to the parliament. Both eventually retired, nary a resignation between them. They are living comfortably wherever they are. Now, Pasha is credited by Parvez Elahi with helping Imran Khan put together electable candidates for the 2013 elections. Interesting. Who's Parvez Elahi? Chaudhry Parvez Elahi is today is the Punjab Chief Minister, who's been put in place by Imran Khan. And Imran Khan was put in place in 2013, etc., by ISI. Right? If there's ever doubt about this chap being a selected thing, it is here. It is all washed off here. The truth is here. Now, there another article which says there's a complete breakdown of authority. The fear of civil strife looms large with the impending collapse of state institutions. The ongoing political confrontation and polarization threaten to derail the democratic process. Right? Imran Khan's confrontation with the establishment cannot be taken as a battle for civilian supremacy. It is a ruthless struggle for power. The country is hurtling towards a state of anarchy with no resolution of the crisis in sight. I agree with it completely. Right? I mean, there's no doubt. I've written that anarchy in Pakistan has been in existence for the past 2 years, if not 1 year. Right? Okay. That's what I said in the beginning. There have been rumors that the Army Chief General Bajwa may be asked to stay. An extension at this point could still be sellable to the public as a necessity so that a new government with its fresh mandate may decide General Bajwa's successor. Okay. If the extension does materialize, it would be an unfortunate step back. All these options are open. Okay. This is, what shall I say, more important. Now, what is in this? Let me put it across. I wrote this article on drivers of chaos in Pakistan. It found resonance in Pakistan. And a person from Pakistan, a senior military officer, retired military officer in Pakistan, responded. And this is what he told me. It is mostly based on facts with a tinge of typical and expected enemies, wishful spice and analysis. So he's branded me an enemy. So I'll come to that later. Okay. And I am his enemy because I'm an Indian army officer and I'm Indian general. And Indian general, as far as he is concerned, Pakistan is the enemy. But then that's a different story. We'll see who the real enemy is. It will be a blessing in disguise if the army role in politics, which I openly opposed in military circles, including my meeting with Bajwa. He's met Bajwa, is minimized, if not eliminated. By the way, anything like 90% veterans support Khan. So Khan has got a huge support in veterans. And if he's got 90% support in veterans, the army is divided. Look, as a veteran, I can influence my own people. And in Pakistan, where everything is goes by money and networking, etc., this is normal. As for the future, a lot will depend upon the new chief, who hopefully would have learned good lesson to keep army apolitical. Unfortunately, in most cases, these are the politicians who support, if not drag, such a role as it suits them. So that already this fellow has started blaming the civilian politicians. A typical army guy is blaming the politicians. Okay. I think the new chief will have to set new direction for the army and sternly follow it. While Imran may not be a great statesman, that's one truth in this whole story. He's a bold leader, that's also correct, who for the first time has challenged the supremacy of the army. But like I said, will it last? If he comes to power again, he would choose a better team to correct the basics. When he talks of Riyasat-e Madina, He is not talking of Sharia laws, but equality, human rights, and justice. Okay, right. Now, when you talk of the enemy, who's the enemy in Pakistan? I think the enemy in Pakistan is the army.
That is correct.
They, they are the ones who brought Pakistan to this level. It is not I. Okay. And who's the guy who made them into this? If you go back into the history, again, this is something which I've taken out from the Pakistani media. The guys who gave Hami this head were Liaquat Ali Khan and Jinnah and all these people. So wait, go and retake um, Kashmir. India is our existential threat. This is a story which they sold. We didn't sell, and the army took it, and then India became an existential threat. Just imagine, why would India be an existential threat to Pakistan? Why would we go and do anything to Pakistan? I don't want to usurp Pakistan because I don't want to take 220 radical Muslims into my country. I couldn't care a damn how they live, whether they broke up or not. It's irrelevant to India at this point of time in life, or for that matter, every time in life. There are some woolly-headed guys, probably in India too, who felt that we should be together, etc., etc. We don't need to. In fact, I don't think we need even POK. Okay, it gives us nothing. Okay, now the next thing which I'd like to highlight here, he talks of Riyasat-e-Madina. Now, there are, you see, the fundamental problem in Pakistan today is they want to become Riyasat-e-Madina. They want to look west. They want to talk of being Turkic, Arabic descent, Persian descent. They talk of an imaginary history based on kingdoms and dynasties to the west. But if you hear Imran Khan himself, he talks of the progress India has made. He talks of the progress Bangladesh has made, and many more people write about it. After all, we are from the same lot. And if these people have progressed, why have we not progressed? There's a fundamental schism in Pakistan. They have to decide what they are. Are they Arabs? They're Pakistan, or they are Turkic people, or Persians, or fundamental Hindustanis who are from this stock. Okay, so I don't know what they are, and with this kind of schisms which are there, they will just continue like this, right? So this is what I had to say, and we could discuss, and you have questions, and we could take it on.
Yes, sir. First off, I want to kind of tell our viewers how I saw and read the history of Pakistan's evolution since the time it became independent. General Ravi Shankar, you can step in any time to stop me or correct me in my narrative,
No, no, go
because
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
my narrative is based on what I've read thus far. And why did the army become so powerful? Now, one reason is what General Ravi Shankar said, that the first prime minister and the first governor general were saying that you need to go and attack, and suddenly that gave them powers that they didn't think existed. So that's one side. So the other side is that the administration in what became West Pakistan and East Pakistan, the administration was run by Hindus. City after city, village after village, district after district, taluk after taluk. And these were the first ones targeted to be forced to leave the country. And when they came, the administrative infrastructure completely collapsed. So there was a vacuum, and that vacuum had to be filled by someone. And that, I believe, is where the army stepped in. So that is one side. Now, there's also stories that a lot of people came from East Pakistan to help with the administrative infrastructure of the West Pakistan, because the West was so bereft of that. That's why, if you remember, sir, that 93,000 refugees were handed over in exchange for the administrative public servants that were serving in what became Pakistan, and they were all of Bangladeshi origin. I don't know if you remember that part. So, what long story short, what I'm saying is that there was a power vacuum, and that power vacuum got filled by the army, and there is no way now that the army is going to let go. It has got its teeth into just about everything, and the only way probably is to break it up into smaller pieces, because what happens is inside the army also it's extensively staffed by small region of Pakistan. So that to that extent, at least the other regions have some hope. That's what everybody's thinking. Your thoughts, sir?
Look, to be very honest, I couldn't care a damn where Pakistan goes. Whether it is 1, 2, 10, it doesn't matter. The fundamental problem for India doesn't change. Instead of dealing with one Pakistan, you will be dealing with three Pakistans. They're bad. Uh, every region of Pakistan, whether it is together or not together, will be populous, radicalized, right? Backward, bereft of resources. Okay, why do you want to deal with them? I've always, I'm always been of the opinion the best Pakistan is a Pakistan as for India is a Pakistan which looks inward and you know so I mean that's where it is today. It is just looking inward. It's got no other choice. And at best it should look westward, and which it is looking westward towards Afghanistan. So why are we bothered whether it is 1 or 2 or 10? I couldn't care a damn. The best thing which the government of India has done is let it go, leave it like that, ignore it. If Pakistan has an existential threat, it is from the west, it is from within, it is their structure. So all these things actually, if you put together, the Indian government's policy today to Pakistan is great. Just ignore it. Monitor it, but ignore it. Yeah.
Well, so don't you think that another attack of the type that took place? Well, just I will give you an existential problem. The whole thing about the Coimbatore car blast, where yesterday again there was a spate of arrests. The needle is again pointing to the role of ISI. The ISI is still busy, General Ravi Shankar.
Look, let's be very clear. These things, these are all pinpricks which you're talking of. Now, if you start reacting on these pinpricks and say you start saying, "I want to break up," you have to understand one fundamental thing. All people who want to break up Pakistan have to understand one thing. The more you talk of breakup of Pakistan, the more united it becomes. Whatever happens, let it happen within themselves. Pakistan, one of the major fundamental reasons for existence of Pakistan is being anti-India. Okay. Anything you talk of Indian to the people of Pakistan unites them. So why are you giving them a reason to unite by talking like this? That's my proposition. Right? The best, like I said, one of the best things which the government of India today is doing is ignoring Pakistan. Let them have floods. We'll give them our sentiments and wish them all the best. If they want help, we'll give them. If they don't ask for help, we don't give them. Same thing for any other thing. We don't have to bother what's happening because they're now looking inside. These things, some one odd blast in Coimbatore or wherever will continue. That you cannot stop. And that has got more to do with your problems from within than Pakistan.
General Ravi Shankar, I have a slight disagreement here with your viewpoint, and that is as follows. Through the 50s to maybe about late 70s, the intelligentsia of Pakistan has actually left the country. They have migrated to USA, they have migrated to United Kingdom, they have migrated to UAE. Essentially, what you are seeing from dawn is just like they say 1%, right? It's a 0.001% view. Everybody else has got their head so deep in the muck about this anti-India hatred that I don't really believe that they are looking inward.
Now, I think let me dismantle your thinking process. Okay. Okay. Let's say that they're not looking inward. What are they doing? What can they do? What can they do? They can do
Well,
nothing. No, no.
for
Look,
one thing,
no, look. You can talk a lot, but they can do nothing. What has Pakistan been able to do in the past 1 year to you? You have to read them. When intelligentsia goes out, a different intelligentsia comes up in any society. That's the intelligentsia which is now expressing itself. You're talking of a place where one third of the country doesn't have food to eat. They're in the worst kind of floods. They don't have water. They don't have food. They are dependent on food from outside. You have to understand the transformation of Pakistan. Pakistan till 3 years back was a food exporter. Today it's a net importer, and it will remain an importer for the rest of its existence. Its economy is short. Its economy has got no chance of revival. In fact, the best friend India has in Pakistan is Imran Khan. Because if he comes up to power, he will ruin Pakistan even more. What's happening in Pakistan is good. You also have to understand, when you live next to a toxic nation like this, certain amount of toxicity will overflow into us. Be prepared to handle that. Okay. So I think we leave it at that. Many of you who are watching me could have your own views. I have no problem with it because that's democracy for us. I'll tolerate it. I have no issue. But the fundamental facts are these, right?
well,
So,
as
yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
No, no,
I'm
no. You
frequently
go ahead. Go
accused
ahead. Go
of
ahead.
butting in before the other person has finished his
No
thought.
problems. No problems.
So, I'd like to quote George Orwell here: "Water, water everywhere, water, water, no drop to spare." What happens is when you have floods, cholera comes along. So even though you have water everywhere around you, you can't drink that water. So this is one of the challenges that is, probably facing. Sir, this number about 30% being going hungry, it's all over the place, sir. Some say only 10% of the land is inundated. Some say 70% is inundated except for the state of Pakistan, the Punjab. So the reality, I don't know where it is. I don't know. You've been reading, following down more. Perhaps you can tell us what you think is really the
See, you
problem
have to,
today.
okay. See, the fact is that they've had floods. The fact is Sindh was submerged. The fact is Balochistan was submerged. The fact is that they're going through climate change. You have to understand a fundamental issue about Pakistan. Pakistan is a nation which has only one river, Indus. Okay, Indus is silted. They have two dams, Mangla and Tarbela. Both are silted. Their runoff levels are zero in summer. That means when it comes in summer, when the water levels go down, there's no water which can be taken out of the dam. They have a problem. So silting has come. The sea water has incurred into Indus. And when rain like this happens, the Indus cannot discharge water back into the sea. That's one of the problems. There's no drainage. Okay, the water has to go into the outside, and there's no drainage. Okay, so there is a lot of flooding. It could be 10%, 20%, 30%. Even that is bad. They don't have money to sort out their floods. They don't have money. Why cholera? There's so many other things which come in. Health, fundamental health goes for a toss. So all that is gone. What about the infrastructure which is gone in the floods? Okay, where do they get money from? They don't have money. The IMF deal doesn't cover all this. The UN chief has been saying, "Oh, donate to Pakistan, donate to Pakistan, donate to Pakistan." Everyone says yes, and no one has given a single naya paisa, including China. Where will they get money from? On the other hand, they're busy fighting their politically who's to be the chief, who's to be the prime minister, elections, etc., etc. There is the real problems of Pakistan. The fundamental problems of Pakistan are not being addressed. Money is being siphoned out. The entire government is being controlled by Nawaz Sharif sitting in Pakistan, in England, right? Okay, so and very obviously the current chief, who's to retire, say later in November, yeah, later this month, he is also angling to get his extension. So it's a muck. How can this muck progress? I mean, you don't look at this muck in a short term thing. You have to look at it in a long term. And your approach to Pakistan has to be long term. Uh, Shahbaz Sharif went to China. He did a Shashtang Namaskar in front of Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping gave him nothing. Okay? USA has put a foot into into Pakistan back. The moment they've put their foot in, they've created political chaos in Pakistan. Imported government, yeah, government, war government. US is doing nothing. US is playing a very smart role here. They've given them some spares for F-16 and all, but that is something which Pakistan has to pay. It's not free. Okay, they're messing up Pakistan even more. So when China and USA are doing something for us, why should we bother? Whether it is one state, half a state, no state, let them be. That's my view. Yeah.
There you go, sir. That's a good question. This comment from a person who is who's from Pakistan. He finds
Mm.
General Ravi's analysis very realistic, and our biggest future that threat is climate change, and not any neighbor east or west.
They
And we are not
he's
prepared to tackle effects of climate change.
they don't, I mean, this is something which they have to understand. I mean, if I analyze, I have written 2 3 articles on, like that Pak army officer said, Pakistan is my enemy professionally as an army officer, they have been my enemy. So I've analyzed them. If you analyze their water, Pakistan is today an absolute water deficient state. They don't have enough water. Indus is not to have water. If their dams are not going to have water and the Indus is silted and what seawater is coming up encroaching into the land, their groundwater depletion is so high you cannot imagine. Pollution is so high you cannot imagine. They don't have agriculture. It will all impact agriculture. Let's be logical. First is of course living, that you have to live and you need water. The second thing is agriculture. Agriculture, it's Pakistan is a agrarian society still at the bottom. 20% of the GDP is agriculture, and that is getting affected. I told you, just 3 4 years back, they were exporting wheat. Today, they are permanently importing wheat. Their population is zooming up. They've got some of the highest population growth rates. They don't have water. They can't produce food. They have population. So they're going to be, where are they going? And they don't have any economy, right? I'll give you another very, a complete import of Pakistan wheat is done by whatever they pay foreign exchange to wherever. And foreign exchange is very dear today in Pakistan. A good amount of this wheat gets smuggled into Afghanistan. So Pakistan is paying for wheat in dollars, which gets smuggled to Afghanistan.
And why is that?
Afghanistan, yeah. Afghanistan is like Sinbad the sailor with the old man. If Pakistan is, I mean, we
What
talk,
an example! What an analogy!
Pakistan is Sinbad the sailor, and that old man around his neck is Afghanistan. They've got it. They've taken it for life. No one gives, I mean, isn't it right that today no one gives Afghanistan anything? It has no trade, no nothing. But it is surviving. Where is it surviving from? Through Pakistan. So why have we bothered? He's got a permanent leech on him. That's why I said existential threat is that side, not here.
Thank you, sir. And let's take a few questions. We have a fair amount of questions today for the good general here. Let's go with the questions.
Yeah.
FATF removal of grey list and F-16 upgrade. Do you think Pakistan army will go to the extent of destroying Balochistan? Akshay Kumar.
They don't have any capability. Pakistan army is more interested in survival politically. F-16 upgrade they have to pay. Can they pay? FATF removal. What happens if? So what if FATF is removed? Will someone invest in Pakistan with this political chaos? Whatever has happened in China, people are running away from China. People are not investing in China. Their stocks are tanked. The yuan is at the lowest. And you'll agree with me that China is a very strong nation compared to Pakistan. Would you like to put your money in Pakistan today? I mean, show me a guy who wants to put his money invest in Pakistan. Will a German do it? Will a Dutch do it? Will a American do it? Will any Arab go and invest in Pakistan? If Pakistan doesn't get investment, it doesn't have trade. Where do you think they can keep going taking over Balochistan, destroy Pakistan? What will they do if you destroy Balochistan? Get nothing. See, I find that there's a lot of emotion as far as dealing with Pakistan is concerned. That anything happens in Pakistan, the next thing is that it has an impact on India. It doesn't. You have to see it, Pakistan, for what it can do actually to what is happening. I mean, many of you won't probably agree with me, but this is the way I look at it. Okay. Yeah.
Arun wants to know how long can the Western powers keep rescuing this dysfunctional nation? The army is never going to let Pakistan to develop as it's like a cancer which consumes Pakistan from within.
Which Western country is rescuing Pakistan? No one. Who's given aid? I mean, you have to don't dream of things. Which country has given Pakistan aid? That's why I told you. This chap Shahbaz Sharif went to Xi Jinping, the first head of state to visit China after the 20th Party Congress was Shahbaz Sharif. He went and did Shashtang Namaskar. Bhaiya, main kuch de do. Xi Jinping has given him nothing. All big talk, we will revive, we will do friendship. Ye wo. Just because you and I have spoken on TV, you know, what's the outcome? Zero. Then not, yeah, they've given some, what shall I say, humanitarian aid, $1 or $2 million. What will that affect Pakistan? That's why I said the UN chief has been crying hoarse, help Pakistan, help Pakistan, help Pakistan. Okay, and no one has given him one. As per their estimates, the aid to Pakistan, which Pakistan actually needs, they've got some 4 or 5% of it. 95% they don't have not got. So let's not. No one is rescuing Pakistan. Yeah.
Bala wants to know why do other communities in Pakistan let the Pakistani Punjabis dominate them and exploit the resources of Pakistan to the advantage of Punjabis alone? Isn't this slavery in a way?
That is, I mean, again, I see an emotional content in this. How am I bothered? Whether the Punjabis dominate or the Sindhis dominate or the Baluch dominate in Pakistan, they're not my land, they're not my country. Let them do what they want. I couldn't care a damn. Okay. I don't have solutions for it because I'm not interested in the problem. I know look, we need to know the effects of this problem. Punjabis will dominate Pakistan is a given. That the Punjabis dominated Pakistan is a fact. How do I deal with it? I'm more interested in that. Is there a counter movement to all this? Yes, there's some thing along the Durand line. The Pashtuns are going up. There is a problem in Balochistan. There is no doubt. There is an incipient Sindhi movement. There's no doubt. Okay. Whether it is slavery or not is between them. Let them do. How does it affect me? At this point of time, whatever they do within Pakistan doesn't affect me. That's the look. We have to understand. We are here not to pontificate our point of view that what Pakistan should be. When I come on a channel or anything, my thing is how does it affect India and what are we going to do about it and what we should do about it. Analyze the enemy from that perspective.
Nidhi Soni wants to know if countries have karma, then is Pakistan bearing its karmic debt?
Well, let me put it. ये तो इनका अल्लाह का देन है. जो अल्लाह ने सोचा है वो इनको मिला है. हम उस वहीं छोड़ देंगे. Right? Okay.
Michael Richardson wants to know, has the Indus Water Treaty taken away the advantage of being upper riparian region from India? Can we not build some reservoir dam to use some of the unused water?
Yeah, there's another rhetoric which I keep hearing. Oh, we have not this thing. We have the upper waters. We have not got. We let water go into Pakistan. We have to look within. If you look within, the answers are. That's why I said what happens in Pakistan doesn't affect me. What happens in India affects me. Have we used the Indus water treaties? Well, we have not. First and foremost, if you know the geography, the upper waters, upper riparian waters, Chenab, Jhelum, and Indus, the main Indus. How do you get the water down here? There's no way. You have to build huge tunnels. Okay. But more than that, the lower riparian or waters, Satluj, Ravi, Bias, have we utilized those waters well? We did. I mean, to be fair to ourselves, we did a huge transformative change when we built the Indira Gandhi Canal, right from Hosseiniwala down to Barmer. You get water down to Barmer, and we changed the entire story of Rajasthan. Okay, but have we done anything beyond that? We tried. The answer to India's water problems, you have to go into it, is interbasin transfer of water, and that interbasin of transfer of water has to be from the Indus rivers into the Gangetic basin. And for that, you have to put across a canal. Okay, that was the Satluj Yamuna link canal. Someone thought of it in India long back. Satluj Yamuna link canal. They acquired land. They dug the canal. Okay, if you transfer water from Satluj to Yamuna, the complete Gangetic plain gets more water than what it is, and for that you have to make a canal from Ravi to Satluj to down, and further. In fact, if you can even touch an app to some extent, especially around Aknur. You can. There is geographically. Have we done that? The Satluj water, Satluj Yamuna link (SYL), we even returned land because politically between Punjab, Haryana, central government, UP government, these are the three governments involved, and the Himachal government. We messed it up. Our politicians, it doesn't matter which party they are, whether they're BJP, they're Congress, or Akali or AAP, they messed it up for their thing. Today, the land which was acquired for the Satluj Yamuna link is being returned to the farmers. So if you don't have this link, what will you do with this water which is going? People don't understand. That's why I said you have to analyze Pakistan from what you can do or what you should do and do it. कई बार अंदर झांक के देखो हमारे अंदर क्या प्रॉब्लम है. Okay, and look, I'm not expressing an opinion. This is statement of fact. Yeah.
Next question from Rahul. Namaskaram, sir. Whether economically unstable Pakistan may lead to increase in cross-border terrorism. Also, whether Pakistani generals may provoke India to hide internal problems.
I Like I said, they don't have time. What's the evidence for the past 2 years? In the past 2 years, what is the evidence? The evidence is Pakistan doesn't have time for you. If you see the status of Jammu and Kashmir ever since Article 370, okay, it has only improved. So this thing of cross-border terror, look, Pakistan being what it is, you will always have some problems here, some infiltration, some issues will be there. Let's not wish it away. They are pinpricks for a country like India. We are far over the horizon for these fools. That's my view. I mean, I'm not talking. I'm not saying that we are not doing enough on this, etc., etc. India is at a stage where we have to look far beyond Pakistan. Let me. I've just written an article. It will get published, say, hopefully next week sometime. And Mr. Iyer, I would like you to replicate it in your thing and propagate
Absolutely,
it.
sir. With your
And
permission, absolutely.
and
Yeah.
and we will discuss on this. My
Yes, yes.
my theory and my proposition and my thinking is that India has a third pole. If today in a bipolar world, USA and China are the two poles, the third pole is India. And this is predicated on the fact that you are going to be the third largest economy sooner or later. It's not. It's only going to be. It's a matter of time. Okay. If you're going to be the third largest economy, you're going to be the most populous nation on the earth. You are the third pole. You have good equations for the west. You have good equations for the east. Except China, if you look at India's this thing, except China and Pakistan, you have no problems, and you are progressing. The evidence is your GDP, which is going. Evidence is the growth rate of your GDP, which is the best in the world. Would you like to derail all this and get entangled with this pariah or a toxic neighbor of yours? No. If you're going to be the third pole, well, let's start behaving like a third pole. You have to have that stature. You have to think big. You have to think of world affairs. I mean, to a large extent, our government is moving in that direction. I might have a lot of differences with my government on many issues. That's democracy. But if you look at it, you look at what our external affairs minister talks. Look at what the prime minister, says. If you take the political rhetoric out, we are going in the right direction. So we need to rethink our own stature in the comity of nations. We'll talk of this when that article comes out. I'll send it to you. We could talk of this and have a discussion.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Next question. And we have about five or six more questions,
Yeah,
sir. Do you have some time, sir?
yeah. I have no problem. We can talk.
So, because this is a very intellectually stimulating discussion, and people join and they start watching, and then questions keep coming in their
Yeah,
head
I
and they
understand.
start putting
Yeah.
comments. So, I just wanted to make sure that you are comfortable. Let's take the next
Yeah.
question. Steel plant Babai Bhavanarandi. It seems Pakistani army generals have the USA's blessings. Is it because the truly democratic Pakistan would be hard to manipulate and more dangerous than one run by an army dictatorship?
Let's put it this way. Uh, for the past 70 years, the US Pakistan relationship has grown from strength to strength. Okay. The very idea of creating Pakistan had USA's tacit approval when the independence took place and the separation took place. Pakistan still remains a major non-NATO ally of USA. Don't Let's not wish away the practicalities of life in the rhetoric we think of. Okay, the fact that it would be hard to manipulate and dangerous is all this thing. So they have an equation which is developed over 70 years. If you think because of your developing strategic relationship with USA, that's going to break, it will not. The stakes which in US has in Pakistan are pretty high. Pakistan is the battleground for supremacy between China and USA. You have to understand this. Uh, if the more China gets involved in Pakistan, the more USA will get into it and destroy them. Please understand, you don't need Afghan like USA needed an Afghanistan to destroy it. Pakistan is China's Afghanistan. And Pakistan, China has started realizing it. That's why it's backtracking. There are other issues. Don't we should not look at it in binaries. You look at it holistically, and the different picture comes out altogether. Yeah,
Before we go to the next question, General, I have a question for you. Have you read
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
book In the Shadow of the Great Game by Narinder Singh Sarila?
No, I am not.
So he is the last aide de camp to Lord Mountbatten. Perhaps he was the only Indian origin aide de camp to Lord Mountbatten. And so why I'm saying this is because if he says something, there is some credibility to
Yeah,
it,
fine.
right? According to him, the United States did not want partition, and they had sent a special emissary to India, and this person was not taken seriously by Nehru. And
Oh,
and at some point they just gave up their hands, and that's how this whole thing happened.
no, well, that might be the case. That might be the case, but we don't know just whether that was true or not. Uh, Also, the political system situation at that point of time is something which uh, we can't go back and unwind.
Of
We
course, of
also
course.
we also don't know. There are a lot of theories which came out that Jinnah's health, if Britain had known about it, they wouldn't have gone through with partition, etc., etc. We do all these are there, but then it has happened. The fact is that from day one, Pakistan was part of the US camp, whole and soul. They're part of CENTO, they're part of CETO, etc., etc. And even today they are a non-NATO ally of USA. Has some value, and it is an indisputable fact which we have to contend with today. I look at history to say, okay, to think, understand what it is today, but I have to deal with today. My dealing with today with Pakistan is we have to look far beyond Pakistan. The world's third pole can't look at a how do I describe Pakistan? We can't. I think we have a larger role in the world, and as Indians, we have a you know, larger thing, better things to think of.
Next question, please. Why does nobody in the West or in Pakistan speak about important things like economic growth, planning, HDI, etc.? Modi gets pilloried by Western media if our GDP slumps a little.
Ah, because we matter. They don't matter. Look, which are the two most discussed nations on earth today? US and China. How am I bothered if Xi Jinping becomes the third time president of China or whatever? It really doesn't matter. It's his internal thing. It matters because it's a big country and it means to the world. How am I bothered whether midterm elections take place in US or not? Who wins? Whether Democrats come or Republicans come? Why? Because it matters to the rest of the world. Similarly, if today someone says, "Oh, GDP has gone down and Modi is a useless guy," it matters. Look at why it matters. Okay, so and we are a democracy. Let's handle it. You have to have the tolerance to handle it. Let's not live in this, dream world that everything everyone should say about India is good, and you should be. I think that's the worst thing. Then you become a communist state. Handle the positive with the negative like a good democracy. Right? That's the important thing. Yeah.
Question. Varun Veermani wants to know whether Pakistan really has a nuclear arsenal. Is it the only reason US is chipping in to save nuclear weapons falling into wrong hands?
Look, the fact that Pakistan has nuclear weapons is indisputable because at that point of time, it was the US which helped them. acquire it. US and China together for their reasons. Okay, this is not the only reason why US is. Yeah, one of the reasons why US is bothered about Pakistan is its ability to touch or destroy or cause damage in USA through a nuclear explosion. After all, they've had this experience of 9/11, and we all know where 9/11 originated from. It didn't originate from Mars. And Osama bin Laden, didn't appear overnight. He was trained by ISI. Okay, so there are a lot of connect between 9/11 and Pakistan. I mean, it doesn't. You don't need CIA to tell you that, right? And US knows exactly what Pakistan is capable of. Look, USA is also following the same strategy which India I am now propagating. They are ensuring that Pakistan keeps looking inward.
Well,
US,
that go ahead, sir.
yeah. Last word. The US security is also contingent upon Pakistan looking inward.
Fascinating conversation, actually more like sharing of thoughts by the good general, and I was merely giving the third downs. Yeah, there's a US parlance for football where you get the last 1 yard. You did the 9 yards in the first down. And viewers, thank you so much for your good questions. And it was a pleasure and honor to be engaging in this conversation with Lieutenant General Ravi Shankar. Sir, we look forward to more such conversations, and you know that our platform is always available because this is informed thought. The fact that some Pakistanis are weighing in is good. We are helping them with that internal thought process. So let's hope that this permeates more people watch it, and we are basically stating the facts as we see it. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Distribute this to as many friends and relatives as possible, because there are a lot of things. See, general is taking out the emotion. Don't have emotion when you are watching cricket match or when you're talking about politics. You have to have hard facts, because that's what's going to win you the war, whichever one it is. So thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar, and as always, a pleasure having you, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar.